Hey, I'd just like to say a huge thank you for all the messages and support after the Brixton World Cup. It's been absolutely overwhelming. The competition was incredible and it's been really nice just trying to respond to as many of the messages as I can. So a huge thank you to everyone and I hope you enjoy the video. We've just arrived in Brixton for the Boulder World Cup, the second to last one of the season. We actually went straight from the Prague World Cup to Innsbruck after the men's final. So yeah, we really weren't in Prague for a very long time after the competition, which was really good for my recovery and just really good for my training and preparation for the Brixton World Cup. We were in Innsbruck watching the women's final by stream. It was cool to see Oriane win her first World Cup. That was such a great final to watch. So we actually sat in the burrito place I mentioned in the previous video, having our burritos pre-training, having a look at the women's final, really relaxed. It was so yeah, it's cool to think how just so soon after the men's competition finishing, we were already in Innsbruck, completely different environment, completely chilled out, resting, preparing to train the next day. It was a really quick transition, which was yeah, really good for my recovery. I'm here preparing to go into isolation. This isolation is actually really close from our apartment. It's only a 5–10 minute walk at most. So I'm actually going to get most of my warm-up, off-the-wall warm-up out the way in the apartment. So I'm going to do some static dynamic stretching and get my heart rate up. Just do a bit of off-the-wall warm-up and then head down to ISO and then get on straight with the climbing and then straight out for the for qualifiers. Yeah, feeling fresh, ready to go. Coming up isolation, first block, it looked like it was a coordination block. It was a little hop, skip and a jump into an undercut and a sloper, and then like a two moves to finish, a move up into a sloper and then a big last move into a hold, which is quite deceiving. It looks like a jug from the ground, but when you get to it, it's quite slopey. So it took me, I think, 3 goes to stick the zone and then a further 3 more to actually do the climb, so 6 in total. It's just one of those boulders which takes quite a few attempts to break down and figure out. So happy to do the boulder. 5 minutes rest and then coming out to boulder 2, it was a really physical hard boulder, my kind of style. On the steep part of the wall, you start on 2 undercuts into some big compression slopers, completely my style. I managed to flash it, which I'm really happy with. Yeah, definitely the physically hardest boulder in the round, so yeah, I love those types of boulders, so nice to flash. Boulder 2 only had three flashes and I was one of them, so nice to be able to have be feeling so good on the powerful boulders. I think it was me, Alberto and Ondra who were the flashes of it. So I thought that topping that boulder was going to be important moving forward. It's always good to do the hard physical boulders because you know that not a huge amount of people are going to be able to top them. Good to get that in the bag. Coming out to boulder 3, it was a paddle dyno. I topped the boulder. I think it took me 8 attempts in total. It was a really physical 1, 2, 3 paddle. It wasn't like a movement style one. You had to really squeeze on these pinches and I didn't quite get the body position right to start with, so it took me a few goes to work that out. A nice easy top, yeah, 8th attempt I think. Looking back on the video, you can see as I latched the right hand, you can see my left hand almost squeeze and suddenly activate as I'm having to stop the swing on those 2 holds. You can really see it activate, which you don't normally get to see. It's more of a 1-move boulder. Really, everyone who stuck the first move to the zone topped the boulder. So it's one of those where you really couldn't afford to lose the zone because then you're losing out on a top, which basically everyone would get once they've got the zone. So I'm happy to get the zone and then quickly execute to the top. Boulder 4, a slightly disappointing boulder, but pretty much a bit too easy. I think everyone in the competition pretty much either flashed it or did it on their second go. So coming out to that, I managed to flash it, which is you basically had to do, and that was that. Boulder 5, the slab. I was really close on the slab. My flash go was so close. You can see as I go in for the match, my foot just pings off. It's just one of those boulders. I tried switching shoes to get maybe a bit more purchase of some of the feet, but it didn't work out. I was really close. I'm happy to have flashed the zone, which was quite tricky. But ending the round 4 tops, 5 zones. I've just got back from qualifications here in Brixton and I finished 7th in my group, which was joint 13th. I'm really happy. Qualifications is always a really tough round, so I'm really happy to have gotten through it nice and smoothly without any nervous waits. But yeah, it's always stressful qualification, so good to have gotten through it. Going into isolation, I was coming out 6th place, which means I was only going to be in ISO for maybe an hour. It was really nice to be able to, for the first time, be on some really fresh boulders, not in isolation too long. Basically in and out, efficient with the qualifications. A quick summary of the round: it was a high top round. There are people who missed out with 4 tops, 5 zones, so I'm happy to have passed the qualifications in 13th. Nice and smooth on to semi-finals. Semi-final blocks are usually quite a lot harder, so I'm really psyched to give that a good go on Sunday. This is my fourth consecutive semi-final, so I'm really psyched. Hopefully it'll be finals on Sunday, but we'll have to see how it goes. Coming out to Boulder 1, it was more of a slabby boulder. It was kind of technical, run across on some volumes with quite a small foot. I was really happy with this because I broke down the boulder pretty fast and I was able to find a method that worked for me quite efficiently. And I managed to do that on my 3rd attempt, which I was really psyched with. At the top of the boulder, I was like, yes, I've done the technical boulder already, and then I could see coming up were 2 more powerful ones. A nice start, happy to almost get the first one out of the way because it's not really, it's not my style. I put a lot of work into that style, but it's not what I enjoy most in these competitions. So nice to get that one done. And coming out to Boulder 2, it was the hard boulder. I was so psyched when I turned around and saw it. Really physical moves, crimps to slopers, compression-y, completely my style. And I got it second go. I made a bit of a mistake on the first move, so that cost me the flash. But I was up on that boulder for quite a while. I was almost on the last, move for quite a while, almost being a bit of a lead climber, being a bit hesitant, not wanting to mess up the attempt, and managed to get that on my second go. I previously said that in these competitions you have to be really confident and then choose a beat it and go for it straight away. But this time I was on the last move and I thought, I'm not like really powered out. The last move looks a bit more sketchy than the rest of it. It relied on quite almost a bit of a toe hook or a heel hook catch as you go for the last move. So I really wanted to make sure I was in the best spot on this hold. I knew what was coming up. I knew my heel or toe was in the right position. I made the decision to go for it, and then I did fully go for it, which was good. Coming out to boulder 3, it looked like another amazing boulder. It was completely my style. And the Lucha Libre pinches, which I absolutely love. And I remember just turning around and going, yes, this is a good boulder. And I got on it, went through the first bit to the zone smoothly, and had a really cool kind of sequence in the second bit where I kind of guppied this one and ended up doing some weird cross into the penultimate hold, which I don't think it was the intended beater, but I managed to make it work, got myself in a nice position, and yeah, found myself on the top of the boulder, and I could hear from the huge cheer from the crowd that it probably hadn't had many tops, or hadn't been topped at all. So I was really hyped to the top of that boulder, 3 tops down. Yeah, Matt Groom and Zach Gallo were the commentators, and they were looked pretty surprised by the beater. So looking back at that, it was a really nice moment. When I topped boulder 3, the crowd absolutely erupted. It was such a nice moment. It always makes such a big difference when the crowd's really getting into the competition and really hyped. And topping that boulder and hearing the huge cheers was so surreal and a great moment. I'll remember that for my whole life. So going into boulder 4, I was just so excited to get on it and no pressure. Boulder 4 was more of a coordination type boulder. It was a quick palm and swap to get to the zone. And this actually took me quite a lot of attempts, probably a lot more than it should have. But I was happy to get it done in the end. I think I just wasn't, I had the beater to start with, and then I changed it a bit, which cost me quite a few attempts, so that wasn't the smartest idea. Maybe I overcomplicated the move a bit, which also, taking so many attempts to get the zone, the next bit was also quite coordinated, which means I didn't have much time to work that second bit out. Towards the end of my round, I stuck the move right at the end and then got pretty close to topping the boulder, but I just didn't have enough time to work out the second bit. But I was happy to get the zone. 3 tops 4 zones is a really solid score in a semi-finals round. Yeah, just a bit gutted not to have worked out the first bit quicker, because maybe I got really close in the end attempts. But that's how it goes. Maybe I need a bit more practice on those types of boulders, which is something I need to work on.
Semi-final tee, the best tee.
Wow, that was absolutely incredible. I can't quite believe what just happened. I'm completely lost for words. Coming out of that round and seeing my name on the top and then seeing it stay there, watching all of these insanely strong climbers finish their rounds, there's really just no words to describe it. That feeling of putting so much work into something and then getting a result like this just feels amazing, and I can't wait for finals later. The day went smoothly. I woke up, did my usual, went out for the semi-final, and I was feeling really good. I enjoyed every single moment on the mats. Every single boulder I was able to put a really good fight on, and just an incredible day, really, no words. I had a nice watch of the rest of the semi-final. I knew I was guaranteed into the finals quite soon after finishing, which was really nice, so I just got to sit back and relax and enjoy the semi-final. It was great watching everyone try really hard on the boulders, and what's also really cool is that I'm in the final, and Serato and Raku is in second place, and we've done quite a lot of competitions coming up for youth together. We were in the Youth World Championships together, so being in a final again with him, he was the second place in Salt Lake, is really incredible that we've kind of been able to come onto the World Cup scene and starting to get some good results. He's a really nice guy as well, so I've enjoyed climbing with him. I thought the setting was really good. I really enjoyed this set. Setting is, I think the climber always has to climb what's in front of them. Sometimes you have sets that slightly suit you more, but in the end, it's your job as a competition climber to be ready for everything that setters can throw at you. I'm not a huge fan of complaining about the setting and stuff, because I think it's your job to be ready and prepared for whatever the setters throw at you. But yeah, this round was really nice to climb on, and I really enjoyed the boulders. So yeah, huge thanks to the setters for all the work they put in. I can't imagine how much work it is to do all of these competitions. So yeah, huge props to them. Rachel and Liam have been absolutely incredible coaches. I've really enjoyed my time with them. They're not just, I don't just see them as coaches anymore. They're basically my friends. So just going into isolation with two of my friends, being able to have a laugh. They make me warm up boulders. It's so relaxed. They get me in the zone. I'm always ready to compete. Yeah, it's just a really nice atmosphere and team setting, I think. Finals, I'm just going to go and give it absolutely everything. Finals round is always the most enjoyable one. You almost earn kind of the right to compete in the final, and you just go and enjoy it there. Whatever the boulders are, I'm sure they'll be great. The crowd's going to be incredible. I'm just going to go out and enjoy it and see how it goes. No expectation, and just, yeah, enjoy it.
Let's go.
Coming out to boulder 1, I knew what the boulder was. I knew it was a paddle on the steepest part of the wall. I knew that it was only Doi and Lee who managed to top the boulder. So going out, I was so excited to give it my best go. I knew it was obviously really hard because four of the climbers hadn't done it. And going out to it, I didn't have the best first go, but on my second go, I made a lot of progress. I got really close to sticking the first kind of paddle dyno move, and then I managed to do that boulder fourth go. So sticking the zone, I was really psyched. The crowd gave a massive cheer. I got really hyped, and I got straight on with the rest of the boulder. I managed to top it as soon as I got the zone, so I was really happy with that. Boulder 2 was an incredibly hard boulder. Coming out to that boulder, I knew that it was only Serato and Raku from Japan who had topped it, and it was incredibly hard. My first go, I had a really good go. I figured out quite a crucial bit of beta, which was the left toe hook, which allowed you to bump into the left-hand crimp. So figuring that out on my second go, I was really happy with. And on my third go, I managed to get all the way up to the top sloper. I didn't manage to get the final move, which was a bit of a shame because it wasn't too hard to the zone, and then there was a really hard move, and you do the really hard move, and then you get to the last move, but you don't get anything for that because the zone was a bit further down. So I fell on the last move. I made a lot of progress on the boulder, but unfortunately no top for me, but I was happy with how I climbed on it. That scenario where you make a lot of progress on the boulder, but you only get the zone, which was further down, is probably the worst scenario because you use a lot of energy on these really hard moves, and you don't actually get any score for it. So not the best idea against this really strong field, but I gave everything on that boulder, and I was happy with how far I managed to get up it, and really impressive from Serato to get that second attempt. I think he was the only top in the round, so that's really strong from him. The third boulder was a bit of a slab. I knew that everyone had topped it by the time it was my go, which put a bit of pressure on because I knew that only me and Doyen had topped the first boulder. So coming out to that, knowing that topping this boulder would put me and Doyen like quite far up the order, there was a lot of pressure, and having slabs being not my preferred style, I was quite nervous going out to this boulder because I knew I had to get this to keep myself in the runnings. I had a really good first attempt. I made a lot of progress. I got straight to the zone and went straight for the kind of lean over move, which was pretty good because I got there and I went straight for it. Previously, I might have hesitated and not had a great first attempt, and I wouldn't have learned much for the next attempts. And then I ended up getting this boulder on my 4th go, I think, which I was really happy with because it's not my preferred style. And I had to learn a lot on that boulder really quickly. I stuck the lean across move on my 4th go, and luckily to the top it was quite easy. So really happy to get that boulder, just get it out of the way really, because looking at the next boulders, they looked really, really good. I was sat in the cool zone with Doyen Lee on his attempt on the boulder, and when I realised that he didn't get the boulder, and it was then Serato's turn to go out and try the boulder, so I was sat there for 4 minutes going, oh my gosh, if I go and top this boulder, then I win the World Cup. And because I already knew the scores, I knew that if I didn't top the boulder, then I would be in 4th place. It couldn't be more of an all or nothing situation, and I was sat there almost shaking, going, oh my God, keep it together, keep it together. I had my fan there, I was cooling my skin down, I was just trying to think about the climb. Meanwhile, Serato's there, who's an incredibly strong climber, and then I hear that he doesn't do the boulder as well, and then I'm like, oh, the boulder is really, really hard. I have to go out and I have to get this boulder. It couldn't have been more all or nothing. And going out for my attempt, I was prepared to give absolutely everything for that boulder. I ran out onto the mat. I heard this huge scream from the crowd. I turned around, I knew what the boulder was. I got straight on with it. And on my first go, I made a lot of progress. I stuck the first coordination dynamic power move, which I was really happy with. Unfortunately, I fell off the top sequence, which was really tricky. And then unfortunately, I fell off the move which I previously did, and that wasted a lot of energy. It almost looks like it's all over. It's my final attempt. I'm on the mat. I've got one more go at this boulder. I'm preparing myself. I'm psyching myself up. I'm going, do not leave anything on that. Do not leave anything on these mats. You've got to give it absolutely everything, whether it means you walk out with blood all over your fingers, destroy yourself for the next comp. It doesn't matter. You've got to get this boulder. You've got to get it done. There doesn't become an opportunity bigger than this. Like, you have to do this. And I gave absolutely everything. I left nothing behind. I used a bit of my face on it. I used my knee, my arm, my shoulder, just everything was left. And to find myself on the top of that boulder and hearing the scream of that crowd and just hearing that I'd won my first ever Boulder World Cup. Just thinking about it now, my heart's going da 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 da. I can't, like, it just taking myself back to that moment is truly, truly unreal.
Che non so neanche più cosa dire se non chiedervi di tirare voi fuori un grido fortissimo per tenerlo attaccato, perché io lo voglio vedere attaccato, lo voglio vedere arrivare fino al top, e lui lo vuole di noi. Allora tutto resta noi, fuori tutto quello che avete, perché bisogna celebrare qualcosa di epico questa notte di Bressanone con Toby Roberts. Bisogna essere un'unica emozione con lui, bisogna essere un'unica vita che si realizza. Toby Roberts ha bisogno di voi, di vincere in spacca le casse, perché dobbiamo creare un miracolo che si chiama Toby Roberts. Voglio vedere la bandiera dell'Inghilterra questa sera che si alza, voglio vedervi urlare tutti quanti in questo momento, perché si sta creando il delirio, si sta creando una vita, si sta realizzando un sogno. happen, ladies and gentlemen, again, and again, for Tommy Roberts! Come on!
That I was so kind of in the moment that I almost can't remember what I was feeling at the top of that boulder. I just go absolutely mental. I jump down, I jump in the air a couple times. I couldn't be more hyped. The crowd was insane. I can't tell you how loud the crowd was when I matched that last hold. The feeling was incredible. I look over and I see all the other athletes just on their feet, just being so supportive. It was such a nice way to finish that competition, and I really couldn't ask for anything better than that. It was incredible.
Tommy Roberts!
I came out of the cool zone to a huge crowd of children, and it was such a nice moment. Everyone was wanting pictures, autographs, and it just felt amazing for that to be a reality. I remember a few years ago when I was in that position, the Arco Rock Master, when I was one of the children wanting autographs from the athletes, and to be in that moment was so surreal. What was really nice is after the competition, the setters came up to me and gave me this this hold. I think this is from M3, the slab boulder, which is a really nice kind of token to take from the World Cup. And the guy from Wild Country took me to kind of their stand where they had a load of holds, and said, you can pick whichever hold you want, which was really, really nice of him. And I just turned to Liam, the coach, one of the coaches, and said, all right, which one's the most expensive one? And Liam was like, that one. And so I've got this really nice flat hold, very nice hold. I have to figure out where I can put this. Has to go somewhere where it's going to get used a lot, I think. But yeah, just such a nice gesture from the setters and everyone there, so really happy. After the competition, it was basically straight back to the apartment, clean my shoes and go to bed. No time for partying or celebrating right now, because Innsbruck's only in a couple days. So I went back, I cleaned my shoes because I had to train lead the next day. And then in the morning it was straight to Innsbruck, got a quick lead session in, and then 2 rest days, and then the next competition in Innsbruck is already starting. I've always said that the first time you do something is always the most special. And for sure, winning my first ever Boulder World Cup, especially in those circumstances, the last climber on the last boulder, a gold or nothing situation, it's truly, truly surreal. And I would just like to thank the whole of the setting team, all of the organisers, the incredible Brixton crowd for just creating this, really nice atmosphere. And this competition was just a dream for me, and I can't quite believe it. I'm really hoping everyone's enjoying the videos. I'm trying my best to provide a bit of an insight into what it takes and what it's like being a World Cup climber. If you've got any questions or comments, feel free to leave them on the videos. I've been trying my best to reply to as many comments as I can. It's really hard with all the training and everything. I've got such a tight schedule, but I've been really enjoying just checking in and just responding to everyone's questions. If you're enjoying the videos and you'd like to see more of this type of content, then feel free to subscribe. That'd be amazing. Huge thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And now for me, it's on to Innsbruck, Boulder and Lead World Cup. And hopefully that video will be out next week. I might not be able to guarantee gold, but I'll for sure try my best. And yeah, catch you in the next vid.